Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Grizzled VD Podcast, episode number 3. This is our Smackdown recap for October 25th, 2019. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Hope you're digging the shows. Having fun doing it. Trying to keep it light, trying to keep it quick. And I'm having a good time doing it. So thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I want to get our first sponsor in. Super appreciative to these guys for jumping on board the train before we even got out of the bin here. But we have a sponsor. It's the IggyShop.com. Health and beauty equipment at cheap wholesale prices. You can get all kinds of things health and beauty wise that you're looking for. Fitness equipment, like wrestlers, there's huge discounts on like wrist tape, knee pads, knee braces, shaker cuffs, jump ropes, heart rate monitors. There's even a treadmill. All this stuff. The Iggy Shop, the Iggy, Iggy, the IggyShop.com for all your wholesale health and fitness needs that you got to get at a cheaper price. You can do it right there. So thanks to those guys for sponsoring the show. Your very first ones. Hopefully we have another one or two next week so we can keep the money flowing for the show, right? We're going to get rich off this podcast. So not really going to happen. Just kidding. Anyway. So let's get right down to it. Smackdown tonight. There I go. Saying again. I'll try not to. Smackdown. We had Miz TV start the show. Team Flair and Team Hogan in there. They announced there's going to be a 6-man for tonight. We got Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, and Baron Corbin going to take on Ali, Roman Reigns, and Gable. It was a pretty brutal promo. Hard to sit through it. It's the same old shit with those guys, but it is what it is. And they set up the angle for the main event tonight. So then there was a tag match. We had the New Day, Kofi and Big E, as Xavier Woods has a torn Achilles tendon, so he's out for an extended period of time. We won't be seeing him. But we do have the New Day taking on Ziggler and Rude, and Ziggler and Rude squeak out a victory in like 2 minutes over Kofi. The guy that was just the heavyweight champion all summer long. It's a very interesting choice of booking, but it is what it is. I'm sure they're trying to get for the belt story next week. So all the other tag teams decided to spill out. Everybody's kind of fighting, brawling, doing their thing. And then we had at the end, Heavy Machinery was in there with Big E, and I was really hoping that we were going to get an Otis Big E dance off. I'm sure that's coming up down the line. It's going to be fantastic. So wait for that. Then backstage, they showed Rey Mysterio, his kid, and Cain Velasquez just hanging out, and they just keep giving each other the pound. Super weird. That's not what people do. Just standing around with a camera in their face, you just don't keep giving each other the pound. Somehow they're trying to get that message across that these guys are all La Familia and they're friends. So, yeah, it's interesting. Then they had a Tyson Fury package. And just showed Braun doing the most ridiculous spot ever, where Tyson Fury is practicing how to run the ropes, and all of a sudden he hits the ropes, turns around, and Braun bails him out, like knocks him right down. There's no way that Braun Strowman could get into the building and into the ring without this dude turning his back and noticing him in the building. It's preposterous. And even with the camera at the end shoots how far away he was from the door. It's very preposterous. But whatever, they're setting up their big fight in the Saudi. Next, we had Cameron Connors versus Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans reminds me of like a heel actress on the Great Movie Ride at Disney Hollywood Studios back in the day. Like somebody who just like takes the role all the way, but it's a role. But they take it all the way. I don't know, it's good, but it's interesting. So Cameron Connors, somebody we've never heard of before. This young lady was in the ring waiting for her big shot on TV. Lacey Evans says, I'm not going to wrestle nobody. I'm just going to walk out of here. Starts 10 count, gets to number 9. The chick turns around to celebrate. Lacey slides back in. Boom, gives her that big right hand. And that's the end of that. Lacey Evans with the win. Good story. Gets Lacey over. Just what she needed. Nikki Cross promo. She's like way too happy for really weird reasons. I don't know. She's far away from the NXT gimmick that made her so awesome. But, they're really pushing her as a babyface. So she's going to face Mandy Rose here tonight. Then we have the Firefly Funhouse. So if you're following along, this dude had a very over gimmick with the Firefly Funhouse. And then they had Seth Rollins get involved and sprinkle Seth Rollins dust on it and burn it to the ground. And then they do the draft, and now he's on Smackdown, and he's spent the last few weeks, as Corey Graves has told us, rebuilding it, the Firefly Funhouse, which looked like clearly it was a few weeks worth of construction to do. And now we have Firefly Funhouse, where we have a funeral for Ramblin' Rabbit, and then Ramblin' Rabbit comes back to life, and then one of the other puppets eats the rabbit, and then he says he'll see us at Saudi Arabia. It was the weirdest one so far, so I don't really know what they're doing, if they were just trying to get it on TV or what, but it was special. Then we had Drew Gulak versus Kalisto. The Lucha House Party loves to have fun. That's what Michael Cole said as they're on the way to the ring. The Lucha House Party. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lucha House Party love to have fun. Fuck off. Gulak gets up there, grabs the microphone, is going to go back to the PowerPoint gimmick. Still on slide number 1 of 364. Just as he tells him to go to slide 2, Kalisto with the dropkick. We never get a chance to see that slide number 2. Match is going well, then Braun shows up, kicks his ass, and then cuts a promo. Same old shit. Not going to get famous off of me, Tyson Fury, blah, blah, blah. Next is a promo. Daniel Bryan in the ring with Michael Cole. The big question of the weekend is the Yes Movement back. Zayn and Nakamura interrupt. Now they start begging them to join. Basically, the three of us can take over the world. They tease the handshake, and then Bryan just walks right through the two of them to the back. And now the big question is, does he need more time to think? What was that? Good stuff here. They're getting the most out of it. I love a week that we can get Daniel Bryan on TV and something interesting where he's not smacking his head around. So good for him. Then we had a Susan G. Komen spot where we were introduced to a young lady named Holly. Not a young lady, but a lady named Holly, who had Susan G. Komen sponsorship here for telling her story, working for the WWE and having breast cancer. It was not a usual WWE package. It was a little strange storytelling. It stuck out to me as something interesting, different. I don't know if it's a good, interesting, and different, but they could have told that story in a lot of ways and usually do a really great job with connecting people with really human stories, but this one didn't really click for me. Next up, Nikki Cross versus Mandy Rose. Bayley and Sasha at ringside. Nikki Cross gets the win. Not much else I can really say about it. Nikki Cross looks like she's always looked, but just not as crazy as she once was, which is weird. Now it's Kane and Mysterio out. I wrote down here on my notes, what the fuck is with this Kane dude? His body language is so fucking weird while he's in the ring. He stands there like this weird statue. And then Rey Mysterio proceeds to cut a promo, and Rey Mysterio might be the most disingenuous promo I have ever seen in WWE ever. He is clearly just regurgitating these lines word for word with no emotion. There's no connection between him and Kane. Nobody really believes he's anybody's godfather. They could just do so much more. Like Ray's talking about how he had the worst day of his life when his kid was getting thrown around. And he was so helpless and couldn't do anything to help him. And, to connect with the audience, you don't get some passion there. If it was really the worst day of your life, you could even cry about that, man. It's totally, it's whatever. So then they're back. They go to commercial, come back from commercial, and they're in the trainer's room. They didn't go to commercial yet. Brock shows up on the screen. Sorry, I was too concerned with Rey Mysterio's disingenuous bullshit. Then Brock and Heyman are on the screen. Rey Mysterio keeps saying to come out there. Heyman says he's not. Clearly, they show Brock is beating Dominic up because once he did it before and Brock's in the building, you would definitely just leave Dominic standing backstage while you go out to the ring. So they beat the shit out of him, and then it legitimately takes Rey and Kane 30 seconds to get out of the ring. Brock is showing that he hasn't beaten Dominic, and Rey's going, "What? what is, it's fucking crazy storyline. It doesn't make any sense. It's the shits. So, yeah, there they go. Then they run to the back. They go to commercial. They come back from commercial in their trainer's room, and they just keep saying the phrase, "I need some space," over and over again. I need some space. I need some space. And then Brock comes in, attacks, and lays everybody out. F5 through to the wall with Ray, and then he F5s Cain Velasquez on top of Dominic, or Dominic on top of Cain. One of those two things. Yeah. So it was Carnage. Brock showed that he was a beast. They kept getting over the story. It's been 9 years, and Brock's been waiting for it. So we'll see. They're trying their hardest to build it up, but I don't see a lot of interest, man. Like Cain Velasquez, we need more from this dude to sell this story. At least Tyson Fury is doing something. But all right, Britt Baker. She is a dentist, just in case you guys didn't know that. Main event time: Shinsuke, Cesaro, and Baron Corbin versus Ali, Roman, and Gable. Main event. Cool ad graphics over the crowd. It looked like a Fox Sports thing, which is cool. Jimmy Hart is announced as the manager at ringside with Hogan, which I wonder what was the last time Jimmy Hart managed at ringside for WWE or WWF, whatever. The last one I could think of is against Yokozuna at King of the Ring 93 when he was there for Hogan. If anybody else has a different answer to that, let me know. We'll make it a trivia question. If you get an answer to it that's different than my answer, and if it proves to be true, you'll get some kind of cool prize. So we had a typical match, 6-man back and forth. Do the spot outside in front of Hogan by Baron Corbin, and then he just like walks past Hogan. Hogan's like stumbling around a little bit. Like it was weird to put him in that position. Clearly showing that Hogan can't kick anybody's ass, can't even walk forward. So, but they did a good job with Jimmy Hart and Hogan cheering them on from ringside. They had the heat. There's a double heat go throughout. Ali took the first one. I noted here the first Cable had the first comeback. And then he took the second heat. It's called double heat, guys. 6-man logic. Jimmy Hart hasn't used the megaphone at all throughout the match. I wrote that down in my notes. He would just yell from ringside, but not yell into the megaphone. Don't know why. He should use the megaphone. If he's at ringside, it's Jimmy Hart. He used to be the best in Earthquake matches when he would scream and yell through the megaphone at the guy while he was sitting on him. So cool. Then big tag to Roman, comes back in, does another comeback, and Roman hits the spear, and then he tags Ali for the 450, and that's what we call the rub. Hits a Superman punch, 1, 2, 3. Roman, Ali, and Gable are your winners. Team Hogan wins the match. And that's it for Smackdown. I felt that the show in some places was dragging just a bit. It was tough to fully be engaged, but they do have a lot of different stories going on right now. One of the themes I'm seeing across all of these shows is that they're making each segment basically is another storyline for another set of people. So you're kind of flowing from one thing into the next. And I think we're going to have some really good stories coming out of all this in a few weeks. We'll be in a real good flow here, heading towards WrestleMania for the WWE product, AEW with their weekly shows, and heading into their pay-per-views quarterly. And we're at a really good spot to be a pro wrestling fan right now. So enjoy it. Thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate it. I hope you like the show. I'll be back on Monday, I guess, for a Raw recap, review, whatever it is. We'll be back then. Thank you so much. Don't forget our sponsor, theiggyshop.com. Throw some bucks their way. Help everybody out. I appreciate you guys. Love you. We'll talk to you soon. Vik Dalishus on Twitter and the Grizzled VD podcast. It's been your pleasure. Now.